Americans. A lot of events have been organized, including exhibitions, fashion shows, discussions, and guest lectures. For those who want to celebrate it with art and culture, the Carnegie Museum of Art and History organized the events on African Reflection, theme based dramatic collage on February 10th, and an exhibition of the craft work of African American artists on February 10th and 11th at Marketplace. Many college campuses are also celebrating Black History Month with different series of lectures, poetry readings, and dance performances. According to Sydney Keller, the event coordinator at Point Park University, the university will be holding a discussion panel called Trigger Your History for Hidden Figures on the 3rd of February. According to Anaya Thomas, the president of Point Park's Black Student Union, BSU will be holding an open mic night and a poetry monologue. For more information, you can contact the Events and Services Department of Point Park University. In other campus news, the Point Park Police Department has recently created and launched an online police blotter. According to the editor and social media coordinator for the police department, Jeremy Bodansky, the blotter was created to keep the line of communication open within the university community. The blotter is not a requirement of the department, but the police want to keep everyone as up to date as possible with the department's activity. Bodansky said it's being done to demonstrate their dedication to the students, faculty, and staff at Point Park. The online blotter can be viewed through the police department's link on pointpark.edu and the Facebook page PPU Police. The police department is hoping that by making this information more accessible on social media, more people will be informed and stay safe. Dig out your old winter jackets and grab some blankets because the Confluence Psychology Alliance kicked off their annual blanket and coat drive last Wednesday in Point Park's Lawrence Hall lobby. This year, the Alliance partnered with Pittsburgh's Mercy Operation Safety Net. The social service program was created to assist the homeless community of Allegheny County. Through the drive with Point Park, coats, blankets, and other wintertime essentials will be collected and divided up to cold weather shelters around the city.
Now also concentrate on things like socks and hygiene products. We'd like to focus also on things that have to do with people's dignity, so there's surviving and there's thriving, right? So surviving's good, but we like to collect things that maybe contribute in some way to feeling engaged in part with us and smelling good, and being nice and clean.
Over the past years, the drive has benefited thousands of people. Last year, 1,600 homeless individuals were served, even finding housing for over 500. The blanket and coat drive is now in full swing. Stop in Lawrence Hall lobby to donate your goods. In other campus news, Point Park commuters are not satisfied with their resources. Wyatt Cree has the story.
Over 64% of Point Park University students are commuters. And as Pittsburgh's fluctuating winter weather rages on, what is the university doing to help them out? As the spring semester heats up, the temperatures keep falling. Winter weather is just one of the concerns and complaints among Point Park commuting students. Brianna Yule, a junior at the university, commutes daily from the south side.
It's so freezing out here. When it snows, it's the worst. And down on South Side, there's really nowhere to cover you when you're standing at bus stops, so you're always exposed to the elements.
Students who live in Oakland are happy to have a shuttle service, but still have other complaints.
So one of the biggest downfalls of being a commuter, I love living in Oakland and I love being able to be off campus, but getting down here, there's really no space that we have to really work on things like the commuter lounge. It's a nice gesture, but there's no printers and it's kind of crowded, so it can kind of be difficult to get things done.
Aside from shuttle services and lounges, Point Park's commuter resources include indoor and outdoor bicycle parking. However, students still hope for some car parking accommodations to be made downtown.
I have so many friends that drive and know so many commuters, and they're stuck in different parts of the city and have to take our bus routes or anything. So we should definitely get a parking lot of some sort.
For now, let's hope these commuters don't have too much more winter weather heading their direction. Reporting for Point News, I'm Wyatt Cree.
Speaking of winter weather, let's check in with Nicole Paxinos to check out today's forecast.
Thanks, Tase. Well, guys, we never know what kind of weather is going to be happening here in Pittsburgh, but today does not look too bad. We are right now at about 43 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, we are going down to about 15. Now, once that temperature drops below 32 degrees, there's always a chance that it's going to get pretty icy out there. Now, as you can see here, we also have a precipitation of 50%. So, make sure if you're headed out tonight anywhere, stay home if you don't have to go anywhere. It is going to get pretty icy, as you can see. Keep those jackets on. 43 degrees is still a little bit cold, so you want to keep those jackets on, grab those gloves, and like I said, we are going to get some rain tonight, and it could end up getting a little bit slippery at some points tonight. Now, make sure you stay tuned for later in the show, where I will have your weekend forecast, and I will tell you when to expect snow this weekend. Back to Say at the desk.
Coming up after this break, Point News takes a look at President Donald Trump's first State of the Union address. And you don't want to miss our entertainment report all about the Grammy Awards drama. Stay tuned.
You, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too.
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
Let's go. Ow.
Welcome back to Point News. With Pennsylvania's gerrymandering decision, there will be many changes to the congressional districts. But will it affect the upcoming election? Point News reporter Kim Keegi has the story.
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision to rule gerrymandering as unconstitutional will not affect the special election set for March 13th. Gerrymandering is the manipulation of the drawing of congressional district lines to favor one party. This is District 12.
Anything that's manipulated is wrong.
The special election race will continue to use the 2011 district lines. Democrat Connor Lamb and Republican Rick Saccone are running to fill Murphy's seat after he resigned.
To reconfigure the boundaries. It'd be important to do so.
On January 26, Governor Tom Wolf posted to his Facebook page the evolution of Pennsylvania's 7th congressional district map as a result of gerrymandering.
The picture here represents each census since 1962. Governor Tom Wolf says this is not an opportunity for a partisan redraw. He says we need fairness in the district maps. Like the governor, the Allegheny County Democratic Committee also wants a fair map.
What we are looking for is a fair representation of the voters and the registered voters within that district.
The court order says the Republican-controlled legislature has until February 9th to submit a new congressional map to Democratic Governor Tom Wolf, who has until February 15th to approve it. Some voters are in favor of drawing a new map and want each party to be on level playing fields.
Level playing field, start them all over again.
While others think it will provide them with more representation in the state.
It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be improved, and we'll have more representation throughout.
According to the court docket, while the full order is available on the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's website, the primary election set for May 15th will use the new redistricting plan. I'm Kimberly Kagi reporting from downtown for Point News.
President Donald Trump delivered his first State of the Union address on January 30th. Topics the president brought up included his recent tax cut bill, the reconstruction of America's infrastructure, border control, and protection of citizens, all minorities and ethnicities. In the crowd, Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, informed her fellow Democrats that they resist leaving during the president's speech. Other members of the House of Representatives wore black, indicating their commitment to the Me Too movement. President Trump noted the works of many citizens, including 2 sets of parents that lost their daughters to gang violence, a young boy who marked 40,000 veterans' graves with American flags, and other military veterans in his speech as well. Trump concluded his speech by talking about uniting the country and honoring servicemen and women. In more government news, United States Attorney General Jeff Sessions visited the U.S. federal courthouse in Pittsburgh on Monday as part of his nationwide tour of U.S. attorneys' offices. In the meeting closed to the public, Sessions introduced the creation of the Joint Criminal Opioid Darknet Enforcement Team, designed to help federal law enforcement disrupt online opioid sales nationwide. According to Overdose Free PA, there were 626 reported overdose deaths in Allegheny County in 2017 and 1,700 over the past 3 years. In his address, Sessions noted the significance of this new resource, saying, quote, "I am convinced that this new investment will pay dividends for the people in Pennsylvania," end quote. The entertainment world is in uproar after certain comments were made about this year's Grammys. Nicole Paxinos has our Point News Entertainment wrap-up.
The 60th Annual Grammy Awards were held this past Sunday in New York City. Alessia Cara, who won Best New Artist, was the only woman who took home a major award at the show. Social media users called out the music awards ceremony for its lack of gender diversity and then began using the hashtag GrammysSoMale to express their frustration with the male-dominated show. In response to criticism, Recording Academy President Neil Portnow told journalists after the show that women should step up. Billboard, which is a publication and music popularity chart that covers the music business, said he stated, quote, "I think it has to begin with women who have the creativity in their hearts and souls, who want to be musicians, who want to be engineers, who want to be producers, who want to be part of the industry on an executive level, to step up because I think they would be welcome," end quote. Multiple women musicians took to social media afterwards to let the world know how they felt about this statement. Singer-songwriter Pink had a lot to say with a handwritten note she posted on Instagram, stating, quote, "Women in music don't need to step up. Women have been stepping since the beginning of time, stepping up and also stepping aside. Women owned music this year. They've been killing it, and every year before this," end quote. Now, early Tuesday morning, Portnow then released a statement to Vanity on clarifying the remarks he made, saying that his words were used out of context. That's all for this week's entertainment wrap-up. Tase, what's coming up after this break?
Heading to the Super Bowl next week, how are Pittsburgh Steelers fans coping with their season loss? Also find out which NFL player had to halt an interview due to comments about his daughter. All that and more when Point News returns.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family.
Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
2-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back to Point News. Let's check in with our sports reporter, Julie Gernick, for all of the latest sports news.
Thanks, Tase. There's been a lot going on in the Pittsburgh sports world, so I caught up with fans to ask them their opinions on what's going on.
The Pirates trading away Andrew McCutchen, Garrett Cole, and now rumors Josh Harrison wants out. The Steelers losing to the Jaguars, again knocking them out of the playoffs. And the Penguins still fighting for that chance to get into the playoffs and maybe a three-peat. We're here at the Pittsburgh's famous Strip District to talk to fans about what's going on in the Pittsburgh sports world. There was a mixed reaction to the trading of Pittsburgh favorite Andrew McCutchen, who is now a San Francisco Giant.
They're going through the same thing that they've been going through. They're losing their franchises, they're losing their family. So it's the backbones of the teams are falling apart, and they don't build dynasties anymore.
Bottom line is they don't want to invest in a team, so that's a sad story in Pittsburgh.
I think that it would, in the long run, we lost a quality individual, and it's probably going to hurt the city in the long run.
I mean, McCutchen was kind of in a slump for the past few years, to be honest. He's on the back end of his career. I mean, I think with the Pirates, you got to just tear him down and rebuild,
Now, as far as the Steelers, some fans are still uneasy about the 45-42 loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars, knocking them out of the playoffs, but they are hopeful for the future. And now, offensive coordinator Todd Haley to the Browns. One fan thinks that's a perfect fit.
Everybody knew Jacksonville was going to be tough. I don't think anybody anticipated them being as tough as they were.
Todd Haley is such a hothead, and nobody really even likes him. So it's probably better off that somebody like the Cleveland Browns got him. It's probably a better spot.
The Steelers, it was a tough loss, but I think it's a mental thing, but they're still a good franchise. They know what they're doing.
Though, if the season would end now, the Penguins' record doesn't really have Stanley Cup written on it. Some fans say the regular season doesn't really matter and are very hopeful the Penguins will get into the playoffs.
They'll make it in playoffs. Playoffs don't begin until till April. So this season, the regular season doesn't mean much. Just get in.
They got a whole bunch of winners on that team. People have done it back-to-back years, 3 times in how many years? So I think they're going to get there.
I was actually able to find a Philadelphia Eagles fan in the mix of black and gold, so I had to ask him, how is he fitting in?
Everyone's against Tom Brady here, so pretty welcomed actually.
He was very confident that the Eagles will beat the Patriots.
I think 24-21 Philadelphia.
I just had to pick up some new Pittsburgh merchandise after hearing the fans' reactions here at the Strip District. I'm Julie Garnick reporting for Point News. That concludes this week's in sports. Let's take a look towards the weekend with the forecast. What kind of weather can we expect, Nicole?
Thanks, Julie. Well, this weekend doesn't look too bad. So we have on Friday, we have a high of 22 degrees with a low of 14. Now, it's going to be a little bit chilly, so you're going to have to pull out that heavier coat and your gloves because it's going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow with a precipitation of about 10%. So we're going to be pretty good without snow and rain tomorrow. Now, looking on into your weekend, Saturday, we have a high of 34 degrees with a low of 29, 10% chance precipitation. So again, it's going to be a little bit more chilly. It's going to be a little bit higher than Friday, but you are going to have to keep out those winter jackets because you never know what kind of weather Pittsburgh is going to have. Moving on into Sunday, we have a high of 37 degrees and a low of 23. Now, Sunday is the day that you're going to have to worry about. There's going to be a 90% chance of snow. So if you're planning to go anywhere, just plan accordingly because we know how the snow gets here in Pittsburgh and the roads always end up getting pretty bad as well. So overall, not a pretty bad weekend overall. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it right back to Tassé, and she will wrap it up.
That does it for this week's Point News. Be sure to join us next Thursday, live at 2 p.m. Have a great week, everybody.